There!
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day one of the next round of 100 days of making comics. My name is Chris. I'm an illustrator from Melbourne, Australia. I've worked on many comics, including The Legend of Rock, Nevermorrow, the 100s Anthology, and a ton more. Currently, I'm working on my own self-published series called Monkey Junk, co-written, mainly written by Lee Piper, illustrated by myself. I am undertaking the 100-day challenge once more. I believe this is probably round 4 or 5, I think. I almost can't remember what it is, but I know I did a round last year and it was successful. This is my next round. So, why am I doing the 100 days of comics again? Well, I'm mad. First and foremost, I am one crazy son of a, but ultimately, I've been in a weird place lately, and I've been really struggling actually to just keep my habits, continue making comics on a day-to-day basis. I'm still drawing most of the time, or being creative most of the time, but as far as comic making goes, that has slimmed down a fair bit. Oh dear, there is a car accident in front of me, and the traffic is slowing down a bit. Alright, back on track. My apologies. It didn't look that bad, doesn't look like anyone was seriously hurt, but still, be careful on the road, folks. Don't do what I'm doing, although I am focusing on the road while I talk. Anyway, back to the 100 days. Why am I doing it? Like I said, I've been in a weird place lately. I'm currently freelancing as an illustrator and graphic designer at the moment. Some might call it unemployed. I call it freelancing. So I'm paying the bills that way. And a part of that, and one of the things that I'm noticing between working full-time and working as a freelancer, is the majority of my time not doing anything that pertains to actual work, whether it's looking for clients or doing client work or invoicing clients or updating my website or advertising myself or posting on social media, etc., keeping myself relevant and out there, and ensuring that people know that I exist and that I am available for hire. Is that whenever I'm doing anything else, whether it's making comics or just drawing illustrations for myself, just for fun, I tend to start to feel very guilty about it. I'm starting to move that stigma away a little bit, because it's not healthy for me to constantly be thinking that I need to be working 24/7. And that was the frame of mind that I came into when I knew that I was going to be doing freelance. Unfortunately, I was let go from my job due to lack of money. The business wasn't doing too well, so they had to make some cuts. So I fell into the category of see you later. Now, here I am freelancing, and it's kind of nice, but I went into that mentality going, I need to be working 24/7, and my balance wasn't very good. I got myself an iPad so I could work in the evenings, working on the couch and draw and stuff like that, correspond with emails, etc. Essentially like a laptop. That saw me working from generally 6-7 a.m. in the morning all the way up to about 11 o'clock at night, whether it was updating social media or everything I said before. And then if I did stop for half an hour to work on my comic, or even just to draw for myself, if I felt the inclination to draw something different, guilt would just come over me. I couldn't even do things like read. And that's why I've started doing little things, like I am now doing, I suppose it's a reading challenge. It's a 30-minute a day reading challenge, just to ensure that I do some reading. I'm reading some new novels, which is great. Novels I've been wanting to read for a very long time. And also hopefully some graphic novels in between that as well. So I'm forcing myself to do these things to remind myself that I do need to relax. I need to have some me time to be mentally healthy. Next to that is Monkey Junk is one of those projects I really love. We're already 2 issues in, so if you guys are new to these videos, you can jump onto my website, chrismcquinlanart.com, and you can purchase Monkey Junk issues 1 and 2. They are both available. We also have variant covers available. So this is an ongoing comic. This isn't something new and, hopefully it'll happen. It's already happening. I just need to keep myself accountable. And that's why I'm doing the 100 days of making comics again. I'm going to be doing daily videos, which is risky because daily videos are definitely a huge chunk of time. But if I just do basic ones like this, upload them every day, hopefully that will mean that will allow me to be accountable, and it will mean you can watch them, you can follow along, you can see what I'm doing, and I'll talk about in a little minute what I did today. But yes, wrapping that up into a little bundle. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing the 100 Days of Comics challenge again. It seems mad. I felt like I would never have to do this again. And when I look back, the reason I did it the last time was probably for very similar reasons, because I was working so hard. I was overworking myself with my job at the time, and I needed to stop, work on my own project. And over time, mentally, I felt a lot happier. I was becoming a better person. I feel like I'm just slowly on a slippery slope. So before I slope down too far, I'm stopping, I'm getting myself back up, and I'm getting back into the groove, and I'm making comics for me again. And that's why I'm here. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. I pulled my calendar out this morning. I wrote down all of my days, so I knew exactly where I was at. So I remember the last few videos, I would always get confused whether it was day was it day 20 or day 21 today, and I would stuff up, and then I'd have to recorrect myself. And anyway, this way I'll 100% remember which day I'm on. I'm ready to go. At this point, so beginning the 100 days, to fill you in on where we're actually at with the comic project. So Monkey Junkie Chapter 3 is what I'm going to be working on. My intention is, within these 100 days, to finish Chapter 3. I want Chapter 3 finished by the end of this run. So, in light of the 100 days challenge, normally you would be doing a 30 minutes a day minimum requirement. My minimum requirement now is going to be 1 hour a day. So overall, it's going to be 100 hours worth of making comics. Now, putting that all together, that's a solid week. I mean, what are we looking at? It's 48 hours in 2 days. So that's 50. So 4.5 days. 4.5 days in grand total, without sleep, assuming, of making comics. I think that's going to be a push. There's definitely going to be some days where I'll probably spend maybe an extra hour or an extra half an hour here and there and filter that in, but I will document that and say, hey, I did this much, I did this much. I might even go as far as to actually write down how much time I spent on my comics each day, so I can actually track back and go, this is actually how long it took me to do Chapter 3, and then even break down all of my rates and everything and put that into a monetary value of what it cost. So I'm actually, really starting to figure out what it cost me to make this comic book and what I would need to make back to feasibly make it, worth my while. Not that I'm expecting to make that money back, but I think it'll be a really good exercise, not only for me, but for you guys too, to see how much it costs to make comics as opposed to what people get paid to make comics. And this is just a hobby. This is just my own personal comic that I enjoy making with Lee, who writes it. It's just sort of our little passion project, so I'm not in it for monetary value. I'm really in it just to create the story and get the story out there for people to enjoy. Now, like I said, we've already got 2 issues out, so people are already starting to get invested in the story. So it's not in my best interest now to stop and prevent people from furthering into the journey that we're already into. And it's happened before, and I've let people down, and it was a horrible, horrible, horrible feeling. So I want people to know that I am back and I am dedicated to the story, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that it happens. So as for today, what I did, I made sure I got up nice and early. I was up at about 6:15 this morning. I definitely struggled a little bit, and that's another thing that I'm going to be doing within this challenge, is making sure that I get up by 6 a.m. every day to do my hour between 6 and 7 to get it out of the way so I can continue on with my day. Any additional time that I can do later on, I'll add into that. But at least I can get that 1 hour chunk done before I have to do anything else for that point of the day. So I did an hour. I actually finished up about 7:30. I got a bit distracted, just sort of getting myself set up, getting the calendar and going through that as well. But as I was saying before, where we're at Chapter 3, the script is done. What I had done a couple of weeks ago, which is again what prompted me to do this challenge, is a couple of weeks ago I organised all 20 pages of the comic book. That includes So I did all 20 pages, set up on the iPad within Procreate. So when I open my Monkey Junk folder in Procreate, all 20 pages are there. I went through that night and set up all the paneling, so I knew what the paneling was roughly going to look like. Beauty of working with Lee is he likes to set up the panels. He has a good idea of how he wants the pages to look, and I can use those and I can adjust them as I need to, but for the most part he gets it quite right, and I actually like working within those parameters. It makes it a bit more challenging, and I feel like having those restrictions work better for me. I'm the kind of person that I'll draw better if you tell me what to draw rather than if I have to draw for myself. It's really weird, but I've found that generally is a better pattern for me. So this morning, woke up, opened the iPad, all 20 pages are ready to go, all panelled and ready to be penciled, or roughed at least. I'd already roughed out page 1, which was just 2 panels. So what I managed to do this morning was actually do the roughs for pages 2, 3 and 4, which I'll post up here now for you guys, so you can check them out. That's what I did. So I'm now 4 pages in, I have 16 pages left to rough. Once those roughs are finished, I'm going to move into the pencils. So I like to try and keep everything contained, make sure that everything's done all together. I will probably find myself, once I start doing the inking, I might start doing some of the colouring as well. Especially for people on my Patreon, I like to be able to post that stuff on Patreon for them, so they can follow along the journey. These are people who financially support me each month. So for me, I like to give them a page a week if I can, so they get early access to the story, and once it's published, there's obviously little things that I'll put in the physical copies of the books which won't come out in the on the Patreon or anything, but it means that they get the full story early, just for their regular support, which I just appreciate so much. So you're more than welcome to jump on my Patreon as well if you want to get early access. But for now, that's where I'm at. So tomorrow, I'll just keep doing the roughs. Hopefully I can maybe knock out 3 or 4 pages now that I'm a little bit more prepared. Some pages are a lot simpler. Some pages are really detailed. So it really depends where I'm at. But I'm going to be doing chronologically, so starting page 1, 2, 3, etc. I'm going to leave it there. I've talked a lot. Thank you guys for listening. Welcome back to the 100 Days of Making Comics. I hope you're going to follow me along with this journey. It's definitely a rough slog, but I'll try and make it as interesting as possible, and also filter some things in from the rest of my sort of life as well. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and I will catch you all in a day. I'll catch you in a day. Bye-bye.